What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I am according to Woods. This here is Voodoo Maximus, former U of MMA champion, and we are going to break down this incredible UFC 256. Everything was pretty much a main card fight. I know there was a point where the ESPN feed cut out, and then the ESPN pay-per-view, whatever, but it was only 10 fight card. So everything is essentially the main event, I think.
Yes. You can tell by the urgency in each fight. Everyone's trying to win a bonus. You can see everyone's trying really hard. From the very first fight until the very last fight. When one pair will win the bonus, will be in the lead to win the bonus, and the next fight comes, and then boom, they've got the lead to win the bonus, and then the next fight comes, and boom, they've got the lead, and then a knockout, and then a submission, and it was just too much, man. It was a beautiful card.
Again, we were supposed to have way more fights in this, and this Fedorado and Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno, that wasn't even supposed to be the original main event. This was supposed to be something completely different. The card that we got, I'm glad that we got, because damn, that was awesome. Awesome.
Indeed, it was awesome, phenomenal. It is up there. It's possibly top 5 or top 3 of the year, most definitely.
No, 100%. So I guess we should get started in. The first fight of the night, we essentially had one. It wasn't Chase Hooper, my goodness, or was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was. Yes. Chase Hooper hits a heel hook in the third round before the end of the fight to finish off Pete Barrett. Mm-hmm. Damn. Heel hooks are nasty AF, and this certainly was one as well. So Voodoo, take it away.
Well, it was quite clear who the superior and more experienced fighter was, and now that was Peter Barrett. But Peter was missing one essential tool, and that's jiu-jitsu. Chase Hooper just needed to find a way to close the distance and get close to the body so he can clinch. And he was able to do that. He tried in the first round, but Peter was very, very he was on his P's and Q's. He kept the fight at punches distance. He kicked well, he punched well, he did everything well. Everything was beautiful until that third round. And when Chase did that, I forget what that roll is called. This roll where you hook the leg, and then it's like a leg attack, right?
Okay.
Tony Ferguson does it all the time, Thermopolis, your friend Thermopolis from
Vanessa Thermopolis, yes.
Yeah, that one she does that same technique as well. I don't remember the name, but he was able to catch the leg of Peter Barrett, lock it in, and then with time, it probably took him about 2 minutes to finish it, but once he had that leg, he wasn't letting go, and it took the third round, and Pete was already getting tired. Fatigue was already playing a major factor, and Chase was able to get that heel hook and stick it in and then finish that fight. He pretty much stole that fight because he was losing on all judges' scorecards.
Yeah, man, that was definitely a sacrifice bunt. But if you're gonna do a bunt, not a cake, right? Nothing against bunt cakes, but if you're gonna do a bunt, it's a bunt, is what they're saying. At least according to Big Fat Greek Wedding. But in any event, if you're gonna come from behind and take a win, you might as well take your opponent's heel with you. And that's exactly what Chase Hooper did. And kudos to you, because that is, those things are cringe inducing. It's like, again, once you get into that leg lock game, it's like, there's a point of like, oh, I'm good, until, oh, I just need like surgery. Like my whole
Yeah.
shit
But
is fucked up.
yeah,
So
and your friend that was online with us, he mentioned that Peter was gonna it was going to be a clinic, and it was a clinic. It was a clinic. He was right 100%. His assessments were correct 100% up until Chase got that hook and finished it off. But
yeah,
Peter Burnett is a very good fighter.
Barrett.
I have to Barrett, yeah, I have to give him that the props. He deserves props. He just needs to brush up those jujitsu skills. At least jujitsu defense. Even if you don't want to do jujitsu, at least understand the defense so you can stop attacks. Because once that kid had the leg, you can see panic set into his eyes, Peter's eyes. He panicked and he started breathing real hard and real fast, and before you know it, it was over.
It was over. Yeah, absolutely. So, and so to our first fight of the night. And again, it's always fucking awesome when we get the first fight of the night that starts off like the entire card and we get a finish, you know? So that's hella cool. I'm just saying. I was feeling hella good. This shit was Gwen Stefani AF because I was feeling hella good after this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Peter Barrett not feeling as great. But I'm just saying we got to finish first fight of the night. I'm just
Well,
saying.
the good thing is Peter Barrett was smart enough to tap when he did. Otherwise, he would have been at home for the next 12 months.
Yep, got he would have got slammed down to Pain Town. It sounded so much better in my head, but fuck. Maybe it's the dad hat, and I got dad jokes. But yeah, well, right now. I mean, we're going to the women's strawweight division in the second fight. We had the
Yes.
tiny tornado,
Mhm.
Tisha Torres against
Mhm.
Sam Page Hughes,
Mhm.
and obviously Sam is a former LFA title contender. I
Mhm.
actually saw her fight with I guess her fight before the LFA title fight because
Mhm.
essentially what happened at the last LFA pre-COVID here in Orange County. Well, not here in Orange County, but in Orange County, but in the LA area. We had it was a kind of a cool thing, right? Because we had
Mhm.
um, in one bracket we had obviously Sam Hughes versus Lisa Marie Malden of Team Oyama, and then higher up in the card we had Loveth Young against Vanessa Demopoulos, right? So
Mhm.
they essentially fought on the same card, and then the winners of that were essentially in Sam Hughes and Vanessa Demopoulos, respectively. They were the two to fight for the LFA title, right? The inaugural LFA strawweight title. So we actually see, right? Because I mean, Vanessa Demopoulos, unfortunately, she didn't get her. I mean, she got her opportunity on the Dana White Contender
Contender.
Series,
Mhm.
right? Didn't work out for her as well, so she went back down to LFA to defend her
Defend.
title
Mhm.
against Lupe Godinez, and
Mhm.
then Lupe essentially takes the title from Little Monster Vanessa
Mhm.
Demopoulos, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it's kind of crazy because we've got again we've got Loveth Young that had a crazy knockout over God Rena Norville, right?
Yes.
In Rena
Yes.
Norville's LFA debut. Then you had obviously the inaugural strawweight champion of LFA in Vanessa Demopoulos, right? And she doesn't earn her place there, right? And she
Mhm.
essentially beat Sam Hughes. And then you have the current LFA strawweight champion in Lupe Godinez, and she doesn't get a shot. But superseding them is Sam Hughes. So it's kind of weird how everything kind of works out and everything. And somebody that got bested for the title actually, pole vaulted beyond the person who beat her for the inaugural title and the person who is currently holding said LFA strawweight title,
Yes.
and she's the one who gets propelled to the UFC. And my
But
goodness, they couldn't have. Oh, good.
yeah, here's the thing though. This was a short notice fight because it was supposed to be Overkill Hill in there, but then
Yep.
she caught COVID. So there's a possibility that they called all these people that you're talking about, but they elected not to do it because of such a short notice. But this Sam Hughes was the only one that was ready to take that fight. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know the whole story, but I'm just guessing. I'm sure that RFA champion would not mind coming to the UFC. You know what I'm saying? But perhaps the time was too short and she couldn't make the weight. Who knows?
No, I mean that is absolutely true. But just in terms of just the ascension and what have you, it's just like you never know. Being ready for a
You
fight,
never know.
has more, holds more water than actually getting, the proverbial, brass rings, right?
Yes.
Getting the elevate title, having a undefeated record or what have you. None of that matters. If you can make weight in like a day's time, you might get your shot.
That's what they say. That's what they say about when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So Sam Hughes clearly is always ready. That's why she got the opportunity that she got. And the fact that she got this opportunity on short notice against a top 15 opponent,
Yeah.
understand that Sam Hughes is going to get another shot in the UFC. The fact that she was able to put herself on the line and save the fight, and helping to enhance the card by saving the fight, they will give her another opportunity, something that's closer to her skill level. They will give her another chance, and these are the type of fighters that Dana White is looking for. Fighters that are going to
Yep.
step up and say, "Hey, I'm ready at any time. You just give me the phone call. You call me and I'm there." These are the fighters that the UFCs are looking for, right? So, if you're a fighter, you know what I mean? When you stay ready, you don't ever have to get ready. Period.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one was, good on Hughes for being able to do get that opportunity, but there's still a bit of controversy in it. Now, obviously, Tisha Torres, if you had seen any of the kind of lead ins to UFC. I think UFC maybe a day before weigh-ins. I want to say like Thursday. They basically put out a piece, like a not even a 10-minute piece on Tisha Torres and how she was a lifelong martial artist, and this speaks to the production value of the UFC, right? Because I mean, I've watched Tisha Torres. I mean, in that Ultimate Fighter kind of contingent of what ended up being like literally the first wave of UFC strawweights, and a strawweight champion was crowned in Carla Esparza, right? But I mean, to me, it was just like I thought I knew a lot about Tisha Torres. I learned so much more in 10 minutes than I did like her entire UFC career. So shout out to the UFC production team and the narrative that they told. And they were basically saying, it's essentially Tisha. Tisha's the one who's Tisha beaten Tisha. Like that's the thing. That's why she's had kind of a up and down record or whatever. But I mean, also the up and down record, her only losses are either to champions, right? Like champions or former champions. Like it's, she if you're gonna lose, you might as well lose to the best of the best, right? I mean,
Exactly.
theoretically speaking, and all of her losses in the UFC have been against champions.
Yes, and remember I told you I saw Tisha Torres back in like 99, 2000 in Vegas in the karate tournament. I
Yes.
found I found that tape, but it's one of those camera tapes that's about that big, but it requires an adapter that I'm gonna put the tape in so I can put it in the VHS, right? But I
I
found the tape. I found the tape.
we are going to, here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do, because I think you have gold. I say I have a Costco Gold membership executive.
Okay.
I'm just saying, pinkies up. And the second generation one at that, but they do video file conversions, right? So
No.
you let me know where the Costco is by your house, and
Hmm.
I will go ahead and convert that. That's what we're gonna do here.
Perfect.
I'm
Okay.
just saying.
Fantastic. Fantastic. We gotta dig this one up, man. I mean, even back then, man, she was badass. That karate was on point. I remember her winning. I remember her winning forms, and I remember her winning her her uh her sparring with the reverse punch. She beat everyone with the reverse punch. Everybody she faced fell to the reverse punch.
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
she might have been 12 or 13 back then, if I remember correctly.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So I
have it.
mean, I mean, again, I think you're sitting on gold. So we need to get that converted like right now,
Yeah.
if not sooner. But I mean, as somebody who has witnessed Tisha in action, and especially at a formative age of 12, right? She was 12 years old, and she was, basically, breaking necks and cashing checks, right? So
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
somebody that has seen her literally from even before she started fighting professionally, what was your assessment of Tisha Torres last night?
Last night, Tisha Torres was a a, a devastating turbine that just ran right through Sam Hughes. She utilized her karate flawlessly. You know what I mean? The hands and feet combination, the continuous striking, linear striking of karate. If you remember back in the Machida era, he used to
Yep.
do those blitz in which he would just bah, 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 almost like
Yep.
It Man, almost like It Man, but not really It Man because he's throwing straight punches, well, ones and twos, not these short ones right here. So Tisha was using that. She's doing throwing back fists. That she did everything. She did everything, and she happened to punch Sam Hughes right dead in the eye at one point, and she couldn't see after that. Possibly a broken orbital. Whenever it gets super blurry like that, and you can't really see, that's usually the case. Sam, Sam won it out of that match, and I don't blame her. When you can't see someone so vicious coming at you, please do not
Yeah.
continue to fight. She said I can't see, but then she says, uh, "Don't stop the match." That's like a double negative. It doesn't work that way.
Yep.
You tell anyone ever hear you speak of not being able to see, of course they're gonna stop the fight. And
Yep.
I don't see any reason for her not to continue. There was no reason to continue. She was clearly overwhelmed, and she was severely injured. A shot to the eye is not a fun one. I remember when I fought DC Chapman. The very first punch he threw, he hit me dead in the eyeball, and it was blurry city from then on. I only had one eye. But that was in the amateur days. These are professionals, and Tisha Torres ain't no joke. She will smash you if you let her. And Sam Hughes barely made it out of the first round, but there was no second round to happen.
No, no, absolutely not. My goodness. And I mean, there was a lot of people that were like, Sam Hughes, like you said, wanted out, but they didn't feel that it was right. But I mean, on in your assessment, and as somebody who has actually been through a similar situation yourself, you're like, no, no, that was absolutely justified to stop the fight.
It was very justified. See, as an amateur, there is no elbows to the head and no knees to the head. So severe weapons are not there. But in as a pro, all the terrible weapons are there, and it makes things so much more dangerous. So Sam Hughes' coach immediately said, "Well, you can't see. I'm going to stop the match." Sam tried to tell him not to stop it, but I think he made the right decision, saving his fighter. You know what I mean? It was the right
No,
decision.
I agree. I agree. But shout out to Sam. I think she'll get another shot. But I mean, again, Tisha Torres. Again, Sam Hughes, so amicable. And I'd like to applaud her for her efforts and everything. But it's just Tisha Torres. There's a reason why they call her the Tiny Tornado. She's just good
Yes.
everywhere. And again, like how her coaches were saying, the only person who beats Tisha Torres is Tisha Torres herself, right? And the belief in herself or lack thereof can
Mm-hmm.
either determine the course of the fights, right? So, with
Mm-hmm.
that all being
Mm-hmm.
said, there was I mean, Sam Hughes was standing in the, pardon the pun, eye of a tornado, and her eye
Mm-hmm.
got damaged. That's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's poetic justice.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see Sam Hughes get another shot. Obviously, UFC has this all, like, there's the, like, oh, it's going to be a bloodbath in terms of cuts, but also there's this lawsuit kind of looming overhead. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, it remains to see what's going to happen to anybody who, stepped up and took short notice fights and what have you, what their fates may be, because there's a whole lot of uncertainty on the horizon. So there's
You
that.
you know who I think is ready for the UFC? That RFA champion. I forget her name. Lupita, something like that. Lupita.
Yeah, Lupe Godinez, a friend
She,
of the According to Wood show. Yeah.
she's ready. She's ready. She's ready for the UFC. The way she fought Thermopolis, it was flawless. Flawless. Her striking is oh so beautiful. Her takedown defense, oh so beautiful. Her submission defense, most important part, oh so beautiful. You know what I mean? So she's on the right track. She just needs to keep getting better and better and better because it's gonna be stiff competition in the UFC. But I think she's ready to jump over. She's more than ready.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm actually, uh, I wouldn't be surprised if we see her there. Obviously, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense, to have her kind of sitting on the sidelines. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of things that don't make any sense. So, but with that all being said, I think, you know, I think that is a very high possibility. So I hope you're right. I hope you're
Yeah,
right. I would love to see that.
indeed. 2021 will be her year. She will cross over. I see it. Her skills is too crisp. She's very crisp.
No, 100%, 100%. I mean, it's she's the fighter, but she, by her own self admission, she's got two younger sisters who are consummate wrestlers. They're Mexican transplants to Canada, right? They live in Vancouver,
Mm.
and they like you. She says that if you think I'm ferocious, and again, we saw her LFA title win over Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos, right? And she was absolutely ferocious. There was a point in the fight where, like, she couldn't hear her coaches and she was on the other side of the LFA octagon. And she literally picks Vanessa up, takes her, and walks her to the opposite end where her coaches are and slams Vanessa down.
Mhm.
What is that? That's crazy. And that's ferocious, right? And she's saying her two younger sisters are even more ferocious than she. Holy hell. The world better take notice on the Gudinez
Mhm.
sisters, Hermana de Gudinez. So
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see. But good things happening out of Canada for the Gudinez sisters. So again, 2021, there's going to be at least one of them in the UFC.
Most def. Most def. At least Lupita.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, this ended up being the first uh, unlimited decision of the night, but
Mhm.
it wasn't for naught because Gavin Tucker versus Beerly Quarantillo, that was banger. It was nutty.
Mhm.
I mean, this was a packet of Nutter Butters. This shit was just
Mhm.
whoo nuts.
Yes, yes. That was the first fight of the night right there until the other fights appeared. Gavin Tucker. Oh my God, the man is a complete striker. Complete striker. Inside out, complete striker. The poise, the patience. Because Billy Quarantillo brought the heat. He brought the heat. He brought trains, planes, and automobiles. He brought all that. And he threw it at Gavin Tucker. But Gavin was poised. You know what I mean? He did what he had to do. He attacked when he had to do. His kicks were on point. His punching was on point. Takedowns was on. Everything was on point. Billy Quarantillo, he still has a lot to learn. I saw yesterday that there was levels. There was another level above Billy that Billy needs to reach to. Billy, he's got a huge gas tank and he brings that intense pressure. But clearly, Gavin Tucker has seen that before. He's seen all that pressure before. He knows how to handle it. His angles, you know what I mean? The switching of the stance, you know? He'll throw a shot and then roll underneath the hook. You know, he did that the whole time. He'll throw a shot, roll underneath the hook, counter again. He did that the whole time, and he was just flawless, man. The man was flawless. Unfortunately for him, there were other people who were doing things later on in the card. Otherwise, he deserved $50,000 for that performance.
No, 1,000%. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because that's what it ended up being all last night. Like, oh, that's gonna be the fight bonus. Like, that's gonna get the 50 G's, and then another fight would happen, and then like that one is gonna be, the recipient. So, I would have hated to be Dana White and the crew that decides that, because it was absolutely bonkers. But
Cut
I
them
mean,
all a check.
yeah,
Cut
that's
them
what
all
I
a
say.
check.
I mean, it's the holidays. My goodness.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they were all 50,000 worthy. Billy Quarantillo and Gavin Tucker, that effort that they put out, that output, that high pace for 15 minutes of high pace carnage, give those dudes 50 each. Why not? You got the money, Dana. Come out the pocket. Break bread, bruh.
Yeah, man. So I mean, this is I mean, a really good one. In terms of like technical assessments, what say you? I mean, were there any particular moments of the fight that stuck out to you?
You mean in regard to Gavin Tucker and Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the fact that Billy was able to switch stance. He stayed opposite stance of I mean, Gavin was opposite stance of Billy. So whenever Billy threw that lead one or the lead three, he was always on the outside. You know what I mean? He would always roll to the outside and attack from the side. And he did this the entire time. Though Billy was able to, bring the heat. He brought the heat, but the heat wasn't enough because old Gavin Tucker had the fire extinguisher to cool down that heat.
Yeah, man. I mean, you might have said that he was the fire extinguisher to the flame.
Yeah.
But Jesus Louises, it was, whoo, buddy.
It was
That's all
beautiful.
I can say. Yes, absolutely.
It was
But
beautiful.
speaking of beautiful, holy hell, the first knockout of the night. This was absolutely insane. But again, this was like the first of many insane knockouts that happened throughout the night. But we had Rafael Fiziev against Renato Moicano, and
Mm-hmm.
damn, I mean, Fiziev, woo, buddy. And I know there was a lot of controversy. People were like, and Renato Moicano himself, he was protesting that it was a late stoppage, but he was like a drunk baby duck. Like he was like Bambi, like he was like Bambi's mother. That's when he tried to fucking walk off and he was all fucked. Yeah, no. There was no way that you could have like even an armbar. Like you there's no way that you could justify like it not you know, like it going Moicano's way. I think this was a big win of Fiziev's career, and then also because I mean, a lot of people were ushering Moicano as one of the, I mean, literally like the uncrowned champions of the 155 division. And that was just at the beginning of the year. None other than UFC commentator himself, Joe Rogan, I mean, was singing the praises of Moicano, and we got this. Holy
Hey,
shit.
hey, I picked Moicano to win this fight as well because
Yeah.
he's got a very good jiu-jitsu ground game, and I was hoping that he'll be able to get Rafael Fiziev to the ground and work his magic, but it never even made it there. He tried one takedown, and Fiziev was too fresh, and before you know it, man, that body head hooked me through three hooks, one to the liver, one to the top, and finished him off with that left hook. Dropped him, something severe. Uh, if it wasn't for that referee, man, Renato Moicano would be resting in peace right now, man. Seriously. Seriously.
100%. 100%.
Seriously. I don't know what he's talking about, man. I don't know what he's talking about. But I understand from the Warriors' perspective. He wants to go out on his shield, and he feels that he is actually there. But when he watches the match, he'll see himself that he was not really there. You know.
Okay, well, you need to learn.
No, absolutely. I mean, the lights are on. Nobody was home. You know, it was good that he just like ended up jumping back. But again, you know, once he walked off and he was all like, no, that's it. You know, your health. Live to fight another day. You know, and shit. I mean, it wasn't his day. I mean,
Hey,
because
he started it off with an assault, leg kicks,
yes, he
those
did.
calf kicks. He assaulted Moicano. Oh my God, the liver kicks, the calf kicks, the hands. Hey man, let me tell you something. Rafael is here to stay. If you cannot take this man to the ground and take him where he's least skilled, then everyone in the 155-pound division is in trouble, man. Because this man got terrible hands. Not only terrible hands, terrible feet as well. The speed in which he kicks is just second to none. He's just a ball of fast twitch muscle that doesn't get tired. And wow, I was just blown away by. I mean, he won $50,000 for his knockout. It was a beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful knockout. Beautiful
and
knockout.
I mean, fourth fight in the UFC, right? Essentially, when we're talking about, and I'm looking at the stats. So we've got 20,000 show money, 20,000 win bonus, 4,000 in terms of like promotional because a promotional, and then 50,000 for the performance bonus. He walks out of here in his fourth fight in the UFC with $94,000, and the fight happened in Vegas. In Vegas, so that's
He's
tax
keeping
free.
his money. He's
Oh my
keeping his money.
God,
Hey,
that
hey,
is
hey,
amazing.
hey, this guy, he went out there and fought 4 minutes and 5 seconds and made a doctor's pay.
Yes, yes, man, that's so shout out to Rafael.
Shout
I mean,
out.
this is a big win, and again, you know, his fourth fight in the promotion, but this is definitely his biggest win to date. You know, I mean, not to say that Mark Daikiese. I know I fucked
Something.
that up. Yes. You know, that's a big win, but that was a unanimous decision win in July. But I mean,
Mhm.
Hanato Moicano and finishing Moicano, fuck,
Hey,
that's big.
the thing about Raphael is he keeps topping himself every time we see him. He's better. Every time we see him, he's better. Every time we see him, he's better. And then what I like most about this dude is he tells the entire 155-pound division. He says, hey, I'm not calling any one person out, but I will say this: keep training because I'm coming. Train hard, train very hard, train everything because I'm
Yes,
coming. He said, train everything because you're gonna need it
yes,
because I'm coming. The dude
Oh,
is
that was a hell
bad.
of a promo. I
The
love
dude is
that promo.
bad.
And
I love it
the
too.
crazy thing about it, he said it with a smile on his face. He could have been more happy to fucking tell you, you guys are dead. Like, if you think you're gonna step to me, you're dead. Fucking call the Undertaker. Put your ass in a body bag. Fucking Paul Bear. Oh yes, because fucking Rafael Fiziev is gonna fuck you up. That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
That
the
was
dude.
great, and he said it with a smile on his face.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, hey, look. He said, "I'm not calling any one particular person out, not one person, but I want all of you to understand that I'm coming." Woo, chilling, bro, chilling, bone chilling.
Yeah.
I'm
Oof.
coming. I'm coming, like MVP.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, in a world of people, I mean, in the training room, everyone's a killer. No, that dude's a killer. That dude's.
He's a real killer.
I mean, that dude is Summer Sat type shit right there. And Ronky, what's going on, Ronky?
Hey, what's
there you
up,
go.
cuz?
There it is.
What's
there
up,
it is.
man?
So thank you for joining us. But okay, I mean, here we go. Jeez Louise. We had this. I felt so happy. My heart just sung because one of the perennial favorites of the UFC, one Cub Swanson, I mean, literally KOs Daniel Pineda. And I think we both had picked Pineda.
Cub. No. We picked Cub.
Okay,
picked
yes,
Cub.
I'm glad. I'm glad. So yeah, we picked you, Cub. So
we
I'm just saying.
Cub.
Yeah, but
remember
Cubs.
Remember we talked about beautiful destruction.
Destruction. Yes.
Yeah, beautiful destruction. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we fucking saw out of Cub Swanson.
Let me tell you one more thing that you don't know. I saw this video of Cub Swanson, and the music that was playing ended up being the music that I came out to as an amateur.
Really?
In for the kill. In for the kill.
That's a nice a piece of notable history.
Yeah.
Maybe Cub was there that night and was like, I'm gonna Shazam that.
I got that song from Cub Swanson, man. You know what I mean? Beautiful Destruction. I believe that's what it's called. You can find it on YouTube. Going in for the kill. Doing it for the thrill.
That's dope. That's so dope, man. But I mean, this is a big win, not just like the win and the way that in the manner in which he won, but you got to remember he was out for damn near 2 years, if not 2 years, because he got his fucking shit ripped to hell by Jake Shields in Kuntet, right, in Japan, Sakuraba's grappling promotion. So that fucked his shit up. So essentially, he made sure that he pole vaulted himself into title conversation, or at least top 10 conversation with this win over Daniel Pineda. But I mean, it was a straight right cross. This is textbook. This is textbook. But the power that Cub possesses, whoo, buddy.
Yeah, early on in the match, Cub started off by the 3rd minute. He found his rhythm and he found himself. He let the hands drop and went to vintage Cub Swanson. Cub doesn't put his hands. He doesn't do this nonsense. He keeps his hands down. This is how he likes it. He likes to draw you in so he can bang your face in. That's why he drops his hands. You know what I mean? And then the movement. He's always switching stance, moving, throwing baseball pitches at your head with those knuckles. You know what I mean? And eventually he caught the man slipping. He hit him a couple of times in the first round that stung Daniel Pineda. Shout out to Daniel Pineda. Daniel ate those shots and kept coming forward. Daniel was a big dude in there too, man. He was huge.
Yes, he was. They were saying that he looks like he was in another division.
Yeah, most definitely. He definitely looked like he was in the 155-pound division. He definitely looked like a lightweight in there with a 145er. But Cub wasn't really caring about that. Cub's an animal. Cub's an animal. If you follow Cub's history, Cub's life is not, it's not something that's glamorous. He's had a tough life, and from that tough life, he has shaped himself into this fine-tuned weapon that you see before you. Now the man's a father of three. You know what I mean? And that makes him even more dangerous because now whoever steps in there with him is stepping in there trying to take food from his kids, food from his family's mouth. And you know he's gonna go all out. He'll go to death if he has to stop the opposition. And that's exactly what he did to Daniel Pineda. He stopped the opposition by separating him from consciousness. Quote Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, I mean, big win for Cub again to come back from a damn near almost 2 year layoff, right? And literally getting $310,000 to for his trouble.
Nice change.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good Christmas at the Swanson household.
Yes. He's more than deserving of it because he's been in this game since the days of the WEC. This man he's been in there with the very best of them all. You know, he is a legend. When his career is over, understand that Cub Swanson is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. So big win for Cub. I was actually I messaged his teammate, Combate veteran Heber Castillo. And it was just like he's looked the best he's ever looked. Like that was prime Cub Swanson.
Yeah, he was in his elements, man. He was just flowing. He was flowing. That's why he was able to get this dude out, man. By the second round, he was just flowing. Those shots were on point. He hit him with heavy shots. Heavy shot. The guy was saved by the bell in the first round. Otherwise, he would have gone out in the first round. But, he was able to recover and then draw it out a little bit more. At least he drew it out at least through 2 minutes into the second round before he got caught again and dropped. And the way he fell, the referee knew immediately that this is bad. And the Cub went in there and threw one more right hand for good measure, just so the referee understand that this dude would not be getting back up again. So why don't you come over here and save him before I kill him?
Yep. No, exactly. So, again, big win for Cub. I couldn't have been more happy. This is absolutely tremendous. So shout out to Cub Swanson. And I mean, before it's said and done, I want Cub to get a 145 title shot. But again, the 145 division is all over the place. So we will see.
Hey, look, if you want a title shot in the 145-pound division and you're in the position that you're in right now, Cub Swanson, stay ready. Stay ready. Whenever that title goes up, understand that there's a possibility that someone might fall out due to COVID, due to injury. Right now, there's so many ways that the fight can fall apart. So it'll be smart for someone like Cub Swanson. His name is big. He's marketable. You know what I'm saying? He's got a good following. He's got a good name, recognizable name, and he's got lots of knockouts. He's an exciting fighter. People will remember him. So if it so happens that he can fill in, it'll be easy. Like the glove will fit. So if he steps in there short notice, so he just has to stay ready, man. He just now another thing that we need to understand is Cub really after a title now? And I mean, he's 36. Is he after a title? That's you know what I mean. That's a question Cub has to answer. It seems to me, the fact that he's a father and all that now, you know what I mean. It's about acquiring funds. That's what it seems like to me. But he seems like he's going to be looking for super matches, and with super matches comes super paydays. So
I just saw it that I had no idea he's married to Kenda Perez, former UFC, correspondent and everything. She used to host those wraparound the syndicated UFC shows and everything like that. Like yeah, she 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 was on UFC like TV, like the Best of Pride. If it came on,
Oh, I see. Uh,
no,
don't know. I don't know this person.
no soul for that shit. Anyway, but kudos to them and all that. So, anywho, someone that's definitely getting kudos, right, is Cyril Gagne. Or I think that's the way we spell it. Cyril
Yeah,
Gagne? That's
something.
there we go. Right.
Yeah,
But
Gagne, whatever.
oh, hey, Vern Gagne is Gagne. So I know it's
Something.
not Gagne. But
Well,
in
something.
in any event, big win because he knocks out former UFC heavyweight champion Junior Dos Santos. And this is a big win, right? Because not only does this move Cyril to a perfect 7-0 record, one. Not only is it a KO of a former UFC heavyweight champion, but also the fact that, again, France, he's from France. France just legalized MMA this year. This year. So Cyril is making himself, with performances such as last night's, in a position where he could be the face of French MMA in ways that even gosh, what's the guy's name?
Czech Congo. Czech Congo.
Yes, Czech Congo. Yeah, in ways that Czech Congo couldn't even do, right? Because Czech Congo couldn't fight at home. You realize that if there's a UFC France, post COVID, Cyril Gardner is
He's the
going to have
man.
a place on the card, and
He's the
a
man.
pretty
If not,
lofty place on the card.
if not headline. The man is good. The man is good. He's very good. His greatest attribute that he brings to the table is footwork. You know what I mean? He moves like a welterweight, but he's a heavyweight. The man is tall, long. He kicks really well. He can kick to all three ranges: head, body, and legs. He can punch. He can throw elbows. He can throw knees. I don't know about his ground game yet. I'm not sure about his ground game yet. However, when it comes to stand up, he can stand with damn near anyone. I think he can stand with Alistair Overeem. I'm certain he can stand with Alistair Overeem simply because of that footwork, and he doesn't get tired. You know what I mean? He continuously. Well, he took this one into the second round, and I didn't see fatigue. The man was in his element. He was composed. He was calm, and he was throwing everything at Junior Dos Santos, and I knew. See, ever since that second Cain Velasquez fight, Dos Santos has been different. He's been different.
That's true.
When he gets hit with a
Facts.
heavy shot, he has no problem protecting himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that take a lumping and keep ticking. He doesn't have that anymore. Now, the man, I believe he thinks about his family, he thinks about his kids, and he thinks about longevity. He has no problem upon getting hit really, really hard. He has no problem folding his cards and living to fight another day. And I think this is a good strategy because these guys are pretty big. Their shots are pretty heavy. I mean, we have the same brain, but yet the power that's hitting them is completely different. You know, so the fact that he's conscious enough to understand that, hey, I could get really, really badly hurt. Oh, I just got hit in the close to the back of my head. You know what I mean? Let me go down. You know, he's doing that, and he's walking out of the cage because of it. So I say he continues that until the UFC drops him or until he gets another win. It makes no sense for him to be a super warrior at this stage in his career. There's nothing left to prove. He's been to the mountaintop. You know what I mean? He's fought the very best in his division, and there's a good chance that the Hall of Fame was for Junior Dos Santos. It's a good chance.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not one. I don't think there's any shadow of a doubt that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame, and he's already. I mean, again, Michael Bisping would have been in the Hall of Fame without the the UFC title, the middleweight
Mm-hmm.
title, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he won it, it just cemented his place even more so, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Junior Dos Santos already won the UFC championship at heavyweight, yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much a lock, you know. But I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to see any more of this. Like, and
Yeah.
I do believe what you said. You know, after he lost the title to Kane, right? He was a changed person, and not to say that he didn't win because he won. He's won
Yeah.
since. He's had knockouts since, but something's changed in Junior Dos
Mm-hmm.
Santos, and
Mm-hmm.
that change was something that Cyril and every other young upstart heavyweight in that heavyweight division
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to exploit to the umpteenth degree. And that's a
Yeah.
scary thing because, again, you know, a fuck up at flyweight, you know, it. I mean, obviously, well, as we saw in the main event, the flyweights have power, so this is not begrudging the flyweight, but you could kind of shake, you know, you could shake something off at flyweight. But
Mm-hmm.
in heavyweight, and you fuck up, you mess up an angle, you get clipped, that's death. It's death. Right. So how many,
Yeah.
you know, especially at this advanced age, how many more of these are we going to see from Dos Santos? I don't want to see too many more. I think he's got one, maybe two more in him, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a wrap. And nor do I want to see him in Bellator or in any other organization. He's got two fights. He's got two fights, and again, look, he's on a four-fight losing streak, and those four fights, all KOs. We're talking about Francis Ngannou. That was a hook that, I mean, obliterated him. Then Curtis Blades, knees and punches, right? Rosenstruck, right hook, ground and pound, and then this elbow to Cyril Gane. And the crazy thing about it is he was covering up. You know, Dos Santos is defense, or what he wanted it to be, the move that he wanted to be a defense mechanism, ended up being his undoing because he turned and left his whole side of his head completely unobstructed, and that you might as well have tattooed a damn bullseye on the side of his head. Like that's essentially what he did, you know.
Yeah.
And but it's that I don't know if it was like a foobar. I don't. I hope it's not a cognitive decline. But again, this ended up being a four. Like, and look at the names that I spoke of: Francis Ngannou,
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Blades, Georgino Rosenstruck, and now Cyril. Those are heavy shots. Those are heavy shots.
And,
Like
and
that's
and and he did the right thing in every instance of protecting himself and letting the match go. Those guys are too strong. Now, if he goes to Bellator, he's got a shot at the title. He can win that title.
oof.
Yeah. Who is in the heavyweight division in Bellator that you think is
That
easy?
Russian guy is scary. I'm just saying, the
But
one
that
that beat
but that
Bader,
that
he's scary.
but that guy's in the 205. He's a 205 champion.
Oh wait, yeah, so it is Bader. Never
Yeah.
mind. You're
Bader's
right.
still the heavyweight champion. What's Bader gonna do to this guy? Wrestle him?
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
not.
know.
I'm not sold on Bader stopping Junior Dos Santos. I'm not sold. I don't think Bader's got it. Bader's been. He's been this thing that Junior does. Bader's been doing it his entire career, even as far back as the Ultimate Fighter. He's been doing this since way back then. You know what I mean? Bader is not the. He doesn't have that warrior kill or beat kill. Junior Dos Santos had that. Bader, I have never seen him with that killer be killed mindset. He's always ready to let the match go when it gets nutty. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him for doing that. But there are people who are more than okay and willing to die in there. And he's just not one of them. That's why I think Junior Dos Santos will be a very good matchup for Ryan Bader. Even I believe Junior can beat him.
I mean, you could be right. There's stranger things that have happened. So, I mean, we will see. We will see. But also, we don't want JDS to incur more damage in another fight. And I mean, I didn't realize that he was on a 4-fight losing streak and all of them being KOs. So, he might be on the chopping block now. Like that, that could happen. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna see how we're gonna see how it all shakes out. I mean, I think there's gonna be more in the coming weeks. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah. See, guys like this, I don't support cutting them. I think they should be given. They should be given an opportunity to retire here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they should be able to retire on top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But it's all up to Junior Dos Santos what he wants to do in the end. So
yeah, we again we'll see. We will see. So, I mean, it's a kind of a weird one where again, a former champ, his like Audio Slave song, Your Time Has Come. That's what this is, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, yeah. But speaking about all things unfortunate, it was an unfortunate fucking night for Jacare Souza because Kevin Holland and all of the craziness, all of the madness, that dude wins. That dude wins. And it was like, how you punch up and knock out Jacare Souza? I don't know. But guess what? Kevin Holland figured it out. That was this fucking, they say that thing about, you never want to punch down, right? You want to punch up. That's a euphemism, for self-deprecating humor or bullying or whatever, right? You want to punch up. Well, that's exactly what Kevin Holland did. And that punch up was a recipient of an extra $50,000 for his troubles because this was fucking amazing. This was, and I mean, Kevin Holland walked out of UFC 256 with $255,000. That's $100 show, 100 to win, 5,000 for promotional fees, and then $50,000 win bonus. Holy hell! It's gonna be a good time at Kevin Holland's place.
Good for him. Good for him. And the dude's probably made $1 million this year, man. I mean, he's fought 5 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's fought 5 times, and he's averaging $100,000 to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what he's averaging. So do the math. Do the math. The guy, and he's getting bonuses on top of that. He's getting bonuses. Yep. So there's a good chance he's hit $1 million. Now, it's good that he's hit $1 million. This is fantastic. I'm assuming he's hit $1 million. But the fact still remains that MMA athletes are the least paid athletes on the planet, and they are the cream of the crop athletes in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but I am thankful that Kevin Holland is able to make the amount of money that he made. But he should have made that for just 1 fight, not 5 fights. So it's a good thing that he's making money, but then at the same time, the sport still has a lot of growing to do.
100%, 100%. But this is a big win over a literal legend, a former Strikeforce champion in Jacare Souza. I mean, literally a jiu-jitsu world champion, and he bested him like nobody's business. This was, and what's to say for Jacare, right? Because essentially Jacare, he was the first casualty of UFC's kind of, pandemic, whatever, where he essentially got COVID the very first show in Florida, right? And had to go home. So this is his first fight back, and guess what happens?
Yeah.
He gets KO'd. He gets
Mhm.
punch KO'd up,
Yeah.
But here it is. 26-9 is his record, and he, much like one Junior Dos Santos before him, he's on this makes a 3-fight losing streak to Jack Hermanson, Jan Blachowicz, and then Kevin Holland. But those two previous ones with Blachowicz and Hermanson, those were essentially decisions, right? And again, Hermanson had the crazy fight with Marvin Vittori last week, and then Blachowicz is the champ, right? So no harm, no foul. But that KO from Holland, we're having a completely different situation the conversation in terms of the career trajectory of Ronaldo Jacare Souza.
Yeah, the Jacare left his guard down for a split second because in his entire career, he's never had anyone throw hooks from their back. So when it happened, it kind of shocked him. The first one that hit him kind of shocked him, right? It froze him in place. He felt that ring. He froze in place, and then the second one that hit him was the one that put him out and bent him backwards. And then the kid got up, sized him up, and just started yaha, 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 like karate. You know what I mean? And it was unfortunate that he got fatality like that. But the Kevin Holland, man, do not let him Jedi mind trick you. Kevin Holland likes to talk to people, and like there was a time when Kevin was on his back and Jacare was in his guard, and Kevin said something to him, and Jacare was smiling. You know what I mean? He already lost his focus. He lost his focus right there. That's what Kevin knew. I got you. You're laughing at my jokes. You're not focused. So I'm about to take you out, and that's what he did. So when you fight Kevin Holland, do not listen to anything that's coming out of his mouth. Just focus all your intentions on destroying him. Once you start reacting to what he's saying, then he's got you. That's what Conor McGregor does to people. He gets in their heads. See, Conor likes to make them upset. This guy, Kevin Holland, he likes to crack jokes and make them happy. Counter of what Conor McGregor does. He makes the opponent happy, and once the opponent gets happy, they get knocked out.
Yeah, man. So big win for Kevin Holland. This is, theoretically, he cracked $1 million this year. So, as somebody much like Cub Swanson before, he's got kids that he's got to feed and what have you. So he's done that. Mission, game, set, match point for Kevin Holland. You accomplished that feat, sir. So kudos to you, and Merry Christmas to you. Just say it.
Shaka.
Just say it. Yeah.
Shout out.
Jacare got like that. You know how you alligator wrestle? You got to tape up the damn. Yeah. I don't know what they call it. The beak. I don't know what the fuck. But that's essentially what Holland did, was like tied up the damn spout, something like that of the alligator. That's essentially what happened. So, that sucks. That fucking sucks.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I hope they have like a Jacare and a Junior Dos Santos. I hope they're managing their money well. You know what I mean? Investing or whatever it is they're gonna do, like, because the road, the light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter. It's getting brighter. They might not even make it to the next match. They might get cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate to see these legends go out like this. But where the old are, the young will catch up, and that's what we're witnessing. The young are catching up, and they're surpassing due to the growth of the sport. If you're an older fella and your game is not evolving, these young cats that don't have your skill level will run right through you because of what they're bringing. They're bringing new weapons. The old fighters have bows and arrow, and they're great shots with their bows and arrow. They're excellent shots, But then now these young fellas, they're coming in with handguns. You know what I mean? And they're shooting from afar. Your bow and arrow is not effective. See, these young folks can shoot off 15 rounds in one clip while you're still trying to reload your one bow shot. So this is the problem that the older fighters are having. Their weapons are outdated and they're not evolving with the time. And unfortunately, they're paying a dear price for it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you made the analogy of the bow and the gun thing, because everything else was like me mentioning Candidate Perez to you. Maybe I'm not a gun guy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
But no, that was articulate. For those who subscribe to that, I'm sure Voodoo Maximus's assimilation of the events was absolutely exquisite, because that's what Voodoo Maximus does. I mean, he also basically has foreign name pronunciation classes, and you can find that right here. Voodoo in the Woods for $9.91 payment of $9.99.99, or 4 easy payments of $4.99.99, and that shit also has interest. So you want to fucking pay the $1,000, get it out of the way. It'll be great stocking stuffer for your loved one or somebody that you don't even like. You can get it. Spend $1,000 for somebody that you don't even like. I think the world will be better, especially if that $1,000 is put to the foreign name pronunciation class by Voodoo Maximus. See, you can do that. Just say.
Hey, and by the way, like, share, and subscribe to this, and hit that notification bell. According to Woods as well, like, share, and subscribe to it. You know what I mean? Voodoo Maximus, like, share, and subscribe. Voodoo in the Woods, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it in, folks. Let's get it in. We got big things coming. Let's do this.
I think this is how you ring the bell. Right? Anyway. What we had here, and this is a weird, after I just did that thing, this is a weird kind of transition, but we're going there because we had in the women's strawweight division, arguably two of the greatest female grapplers that have ever entered a UFC octagon, right? Both Verna Jandiroba as well as Mackenzie Dern are two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champions, respectively, right? And both had decent striking. One would even say even more so, because Mackenzie Dern has been at the lab in Arizona with Benson Henderson and John Crouch and what have you. Then she ends up at Black House and gets a sampling of what happens there. And now she's with Jason Perillo at Ruka. And holy hell, has that improved. She was throwing some shots like crazy. But I think this was marred in a little bit of infamy just on my vantage point, because what we saw in Mackenzie Dern was this eye poke, and it was pretty flagrant. It was like, this was like she went to John Jones School of Eye Pokes. Like, she just in Jandiroba. And the crazy thing about it is Jandiroba has this eye thingy where, and the thing about it is Mackenzie Dern, the eye poke happened in Jandiroba's good eye. Good eye. I thought that was salty AF, folks. That's what I think, right? And I mean, I was saying this, I was on like this group chat and whatever, and I was saying this, and then I see a tweet from one Chris Crail, our good friend, right? The leader of the Cauliflower Nation, and both a CAMO, like California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, as well as CSAC, California State Athletic Commission, commissioner and referee. He basically said, I want to see the ratio in terms of people who eye poked and then won, because that's it. And not to say that Mackenzie Dern wasn't putting like literally the shellacking on Jandiroba, because she was, but Jandiroba was I mean, it was tit for tat. This was tit for tat. This was even, right? And I think when Mackenzie Dern pumped the gas, I mean, like literally pedal to the metal, went on the gas. It was after I mean, Jadiroba was essentially administered that eye poke. So I'm just saying, not to say that
Um,
Mackenzie Dern didn't look good, because she did. Her striking has greatly improved
mhm,
exponentially. But
mhm.
just in my, and this might be according to Woods, it's a little bit marred. Not to say that I don't think that Mackenzie Dern's a wonderful person. I've interviewed her. She is absolutely fantastic. Same thing with Johnny Roba. I haven't interviewed her, but hopefully that'll happen. But I digress. The fact that I just feel that because of that eye poke, this win for Mackenzie is kind of tainted. And she's kind of had this kind of tainted career in the UFC, right? You know, missing weight and like there's just been things, right? So I just think it's just like another bit of infamy to lead to an already infamous career.
Yeah. Well, in regards to the eye poke, um, I cannot blame the fighter for poking the eye. I can't blame them anymore. You know why I can't blame them? Because nothing is being done about it. If someone pokes in the eye, what do? You give them a warning, right? Right? They do something else, you give them another warning. Then they do a third, then you take a point. No, 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 no. You want to stop high pokes? Two things you can do. You can change the glove, or as soon as they do an infraction, you hit them with a point. If you did that, trust me, people will poke eyes a whole lot less. Same thing with the growing shot. Whenever someone is getting tired, it makes sense to kick somebody in the nuts. So you just get a breather. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're resting too, but guess what? You're not as tired as you were because you're getting a rest as well. So this is a strategy. Fighters these days are using it as a strategy. So a lot of them are mistakes, but I've seen some that that looks suspicious. You know what I mean? That was a direct kick to the nuts on purpose. So if these infractions happen and they are penalized on the spot, infractions will greatly decrease. I truly believe that because when you poke someone and that point taken off is what causes you to lose the match, then perhaps the next time you'll think twice about poking again. So until that is done, immediate consequences for these terrible infractions. Until that is taken care of, immediate consequence, it will continue. And I do not even blame Mackenzie Dern. This is the commission. The commission needs to change that. The commission needs to penalize athletes immediately for such infraction. Mistake or no mistake, you will pay for kicking someone in the nuts, for poking them in the eye, or whatever.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I mean, again, I just think it's a little bit tainted, you know. So, but again, this is a big win for Doe, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of ushers her into top level contention, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
that might happen after this win. So
Yeah,
we will see. We will see what happens. But
Mackenzie
what is
Mackenzie Dern.
happening?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Mackenzie
no, no,
Dern is
good.
very marketable. She's very marketable. She's got a winning record. She's only had one loss, right? And she got pieced up in that loss. Uh,
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I felt that Verna Roba did not really attack her the way she was supposed to. She was too calm. It almost seemed like it was me and you fighting, two friends fighting. And you know what I mean? And we need the paycheck, and we need to get in there and fight. That's what. And I want to hurt you, and you don't want to hurt me. That's what it looked like to me. Johnny Roba did not really go in there to destroy. Once Mackenzie Dern started bleeding into her own eyes, why didn't you attack? Why didn't you try and take her head off? You know what I mean? It seemed to me like, oh man, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her that bad. That's what it looked like, and it cost her the match. She didn't have that killer instinct, that kill or be killed. She didn't have that. She was banking on the decision, and that didn't work out for her.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now let's get everything out in the open. If you and I were to fight, shout out to Rafa Esparza because I am verbally tapping like the minute that fucking bell rings and shit, and I'm buying you whatever the fuck you want. In and out, Rolls Royce, whatever the fuck. I just want to get away from this ass whooping, is what I'm saying. So I'm just saying. So I just wanted to clear anything up that if people thought I could fight and shit like that. That's that's why I'm nice to everybody, so I don't get into fights. Just saying. I have a subpar jiu-jitsu game. That's what I'm rocking with. So but with that all being said, we are at the co-main event of the evening. We had Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira against former UFC interim 155-pound champ Tony El Cucuy Ferguson. And oh my God, could there be a systematic destruction of Tony Ferguson? Like there were points where Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan were like, I've never seen anybody do this to Tony Ferguson. Like, I was saying the same thing. They were like literally Rogan and DC were my spirit animals last night at UFC 256 because in this fight they said exactly what the fuck I was thinking. Now, and that's why when people like lambast Rogan for his commentary or whatever, I'm all like, no, he fucking sounds like me. Not literally like me, but I mean, that's what I'm thinking. But he has eons of fight experience. You can look on the YouTube and find Joe Rogan knocking out people in Taekwondo in the mid to late 80s. Like that's, he's a legit 10th planet jiu-jitsu black belt, so but he sounds like me as a fan.
Yeah.
Like
Joe,
that would be my assessment.
Joe has a black belt under Eddie Bravo and Jean-Jacques Machado, so he's 2 black belts.
This is facts.
Yeah, his assessments are usually on point. You know what I mean? Sometimes he's impartial, but for the most part, he's legit. You know what I mean? So what you're saying is very true, very, very true.
Yeah. So I mean, holy hell! I mean, Do Bronx said he wasn't around for playing. Like he's built a career thus far. I mean, he was 29-7 going into this fight, right? And Tony Ferguson was 24-4 going into this fight, right? And this was just actually no. He was 29-8. It was Oliveira, and then 25-4 for Ferguson. That was prior to them stepping in the cage last night. That was their stats. But I mean, Charles Oliveira, all throughout all the embeddeds, all throughout the UFC countdown, every piece that they put into it leading into this fight, it was essentially like, I'm not around to play games anymore. I want a fucking title shot. That's essentially what he said in everything. Like his mission statement never changed any bit of this fight camp. And he proved it because, oh my gosh. And again, Tony Ferguson is an incredible fighter, an incredible athlete, and shout out to our good friend, Tommy Aaron, because you saw Tommy Aaron, the Spaniard, essentially all up in UFC embedded and everything as Tony Ferguson's, training partner. So shout out to Tommy Aaron and shout out to Amy Kaplan, Photo Amy, because we were literally getting like this. She started a Twitter feed on like trying to coax Tommy back. Like, hey, if he's training with Ferguson, he must be ready to resume fight camp after that horrific injury that he sustained, which we were, I think we were both there at Burbank Marriott. So again, he's one of our favorite fighters, one of our favorite people. So hopefully in this, Tommy Aaron, hey, he comes back to fighting because we miss you, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy actually put a post up today, pretty much talking about critics and Roosevelt Roosevelt dropped Roosevelt, the president,
Roberts.
the former president Roosevelt,
Wait,
President
Theodore
Roosevelt,
Roosevelt?
Theodore. Yeah, he dropped a, a saying, and pretty much to the effect to critics are gonna talk. People are gonna run their mouths. Pretty much is what he's saying, and they don't have all the facts. So from that, I'm sure something else was going on with Tony Ferguson. You know what I mean? That's a distraction for him. But he's got to pay the bills, so he's got to fight. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly what it is. If Tony wants to share that, he'll share it. But I'm not interested in forcing that information out. You know what I'm saying? Like for
No,
example,
exactly.
to ask a Tommy about what Tony now. Tony will talk about that when Tony is ready to talk about that. And if he doesn't talk about it, I'm perfectly fine with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
My only interest,
absolutely.
my only interest is his performance. Tony still got that kill be kill attitude, which is fantastic. He's gonna need that, especially in this division. Tony is 36 or something like that. Tony's getting to that age where the light end of the tunnel is coming. But yeah, Tony is one of those dudes that you just can't count out. Yeah, he's lost 2 in a row. But when was the last time he lost 2 in a row? 8. Has he ever lost 2 in a row? You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's ever lost 2 in a row. And look at who he's lost to. Top 5 opponents. Top 10.
Huh?
Top 7. Top 7 opponents. You know what I mean? Top 7 opponent. And the dude, he's not in the right place right now. Right? I'll say that
Yeah.
far. I'll go that far as to say he's not in the right place right now, mentally. Everything that he's doing right now is pure will and heart. You know what I mean? I mean, the man was put in a terrible position when he got put in that armbar. He was stretched out beyond where an arm should be stretched out. You know what I mean? He was totally bowed, and yet the man continues. I looked at him closely after that round ended. He went to the seat. He took a deep breath, and then he recentered his mind. He still got that. Not everyone will have that. Tony still has that. He was able to recenter his thoughts and be ready for round 2. You know what I mean? And round 3. I'm sure he's in terrible pain. Great pain in that elbow. But yet you couldn't really tell. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
he's got absolute control of the pain threshold. You know what I mean? He's a special guy. He's a special guy. It just so happens that. Oh, by the way, I have a question for you. How do you think that Charles Oliveira beat Tony Ferguson? What do you think was a key ingredient?
Well, it's funny that you say that. I mean, I would say tenacity. Like that would just tenacity. But just as you say that, I literally saw something on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and it is essentially the fact that Oliveira is built different. They
Yeah.
they show like it's a collage of none other than Josh Thompson, Edson Barbosa, Cowboy Cerrone,
Mm-hmm.
Rafael dos Anjos, Kevin Lee, and Anthony Pettis, all bloodied, and Oliveira doesn't have a scar on him.
Just a little bit.
Like,
Just a little bit. A little bleed.
no, but I
He
mean, after those
he
fights, by
yeah,
comparison,
he got cut.
he
He
bled
got
a
cut
little
with it.
bit, yeah, but
He got cut. I believe it was an elbow. Bah! While Tony was moving backwards, hit him with a nice elbow. But yeah, tenacity, most indeed. But what I realized is Charles Oliveira. Remember, he used to fight in the 145-pound division. He was skinny, sucked up. Now
yep,
he went up to the 155-pound division. Now he's more muscular. That's one. That's one, but that's not the main thing that got him the win. It was wrestling. Charles Oliveira is not just a jiu-jitsu guy anymore. He's a wrestler now.
no,
He's a wrestler now. He's shooting them doubles now. You know what I mean? He's scooping and slamming now. You know what I mean? You didn't see this from him before. Before he would jump guard. He would jump guard and take you down that way. Now he's taking the wrestler's way. And this is the only way, man. You want to be superior in mixed martial arts? You've got to have the hybrid. Not just jujitsu, not just
Yeah.
jujitsu. You need the wrestling for top dominance. As you can see, uh, Tony Ferguson seemed to me like he prepared for a jiu-jitsu match. He
Yeah.
prepared for a jiu-jitsu match, but what he got was a wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? And Charles DuBronx was clearly stronger than Tony. He had more He was much more muscular, and he just had more brute strength, and he was able to hold Tony down in the position in which he had him. And Tony also had to defend by locking in, by locking the head and arm of Oliveira,
Oliveira, yeah.
so he didn't catch that elbow, which is very very smart for Tony. But at the same time, Oliveira had that top. He was in that half guard. He was in that half guard, and he had that top control
He was
on
scared.
point,
Yeah.
on point. And at some point he had the full mount with the vine whips in, and he just had absolute control on, you know what I mean? His wrestling was sick. Sick. The guy
1000%.
the guy he's not the guy that we know from before, man. His return to the cage was precise. He made a case himself that he belongs in the top 5. He belongs in the mix. And
Yeah.
they talked to him about fighting who is that guy? The guy that beat Tony Ferguson the first time. What was that
Oh,
guy's name?
Gaethje.
Gaethje. They talked
Not
about him
Gaethje.
facing the winner of Gaethje and what do you call it? Chandler. I guess that's the fight that they're trying to make now. Gaethje and
Yeah.
Chandler. Charles Oliveira said, "I'm not interested in that. I'm looking for either McGregor or Poirier, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
In Dustin Poirier, you're gonna get an intense opponent, a game opponent who's coming to mop you up. But McGregor, you're gonna get a game opponent who's coming to knock you out, but you're gonna get that big box office. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
either way, the route to the belt is through Poirier and McGregor. He realizes that, and he's speaking it out. He's putting it out there in the universe, and this is his route. And he was asked if he would rather be a replacement for this match. I believe
Yeah.
I don't remember what he said because of the Brazilian
Right.
dialect or
The
whatever.
Portuguese, yeah.
But I will advise him to stay ready. I will advise him to stay ready and be ready for possible someone dropping out of this match. If they don't drop out, then hey, whatever, man. You're right there in Abu Dhabi. Whoever wins, you can talk smack to him right then and there because we can all hear each other. You speak
Yeah.
up and you call him out right then and there and make a scene. If he can make a scene right then and there, guess what? He will get his match.
Absolutely. Now, I mentioned it, and that's what I was actually trying to do. I try to send it to myself or whatever, but here is what I was referring to.
Yes.
That's the victims of DuBronx.
Yeah.
We got Josh Thompson, Edson Barbosa. I'm not even. It's so obliterated. I want to say that might be Gastelum. That could be Gastelum, maybe. But that's definitely Cowboy Cerrone, Rafael Dos Anjos, Kevin Lee, and Anthony Pettis, and just looking like Cool Hand Luke, man.
Yeah.
He's DuBronx. So,
the kid is finally reaching his peak. He's finally reaching his peak, and he's got time. He's got time. Like he's coming from behind, but he's got time. I mean, he's got lots of money because he's won 9 bonuses,
yep.
right, or more, right? 19 submissions. Every
Yeah.
time he fights, damn near a bonus. This is probably the only time he didn't get a bonus, and it was an excellent match. An excellent 15 minutes from the kid. The kid is on point. He's doing everything he needs to do, and he's in striking position for that title, man. He just needs to stay ready. I would not advise this young, even though he's getting paid good money, I would not advise him to wait, stay in the lab, stay training, because anything can happen, man. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Exactly.
This is the new way to succeed in the UFC. Staying ready, because they can call you at
Absolutely.
any time.
Yep, don't wait. And I think it was Paula Cole that said, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know it now when it be. So there you go. But
That's right.
now, with that horrible ass version and rendition of that song from the WB of like 20 years ago, we are at the main event of the evening. We have number one UFC flyweight title contender, the Assassin Baby, Mexico's own Brandon Moreno, against reigning, defending UFC flyweight champion Davidson Jesus de Guerra Figueredo. That was a lot to fucking say all in one syllable. So now I need to space my shit up. But yes, we saw a UFC flyweight contest of the ages. This went all 5 rounds. This went like there wasn't even a winner in this. But what we saw excellent display of what should be one of the premier divisions in all of MMA in flyweight. Right? I loved it when what's his name, Mighty Mouse Johnson, when he was reigning supreme. I loved it less with Cejudo. Just saying, loved it less. But I love the flyweights. I love every fucking division in every fucking promotion. But like the UFC flyweight, it broke my heart in the way that when they said like wrestling wasn't going to be considered on the in the Olympics because it doesn't draw that many views and everything. I'm like, that's why we have the Olympics, is because of wrestling, right? It's ludicrous. Same thing with obviously the flyweight division. Obviously, we had a flyweight division, that it wasn't the centerpiece of the UFC's, most vaunted positions, but my goodness, some of the best athletes that have ever competed have, been in the flyweight division. And we're talking like, obviously Henry Cejudo. We're talking Mighty Mouse Johnson. We're talking Jesus, the magician,
Dotson.
John Dodson. Yeah, John Dodson. You even take it back. You had not so much flyweight, but there was some vaunted like bantamweights that made the trip down. But I think it's one of the most exciting divisions that there is in all of MMA, and it proved why. And that's why, like when Dana White was like, "I'm going to cut the flyweight division," I was like, "No, don't do that." So I'm glad that, and it will always be in a precarious position because of Dana White's personal feelings. But this, if there wasn't any better calling card to like keep this division, you couldn't get a better argument than Figueredo versus Moreno last night. And then we also. Oh wait, what was that? Oh, here's Brandon Moreno's nuts. Because right from Vegas, I literally a day later I caught him. And they're in my hand because Figueredo fucking he just kicked the shit out of his nuts. That was like Cobra Kai as fuck. But your assessment, Voodoo.
Well, I gotta first of all give a shout out to Brandon Moreno and his team. They had the perfect game plan. They had the perfect game plan for Davidson Figueredo. They were cautious. He kept his hands up. You know what I mean? He blocked a lot of Figueredo's shot. Even though he got hit a lot of them was to the forearm because he kept blocking it. When he saw his opportunity, he went in there with vengeance. And if you look closely, Figueredo took more damage in this fight than Brandon Moreno. Moreno was very, very cautious. He kept his hands up, and they were banking on Davidson Figueroa getting tired. But the dude is in some extraordinary shape, and he never got
Yes, he
tired.
is.
So Brandon had to, you know what? He stepped up his game in that fourth and fifth round, and did what he had to do. But Davison Figueiredo never took his foot off the gas from round 1 to round 5. Once he lost that point, he realized he's gonna have to work even harder, and he did that. He ran into a lot of Brandon Moreno shots. He got rocked. They rocked each other. Figueiredo, man, he's a champ for a reason. God of War. The man enjoys battle. He enjoys destroying folks. He tried his absolute best to take the life of Brandon Moreno, but it just didn't happen. Brandon had very good defense, very good footwork. He had very good kicks. He utilized his lead leg a whole lot, which you don't see a lot of in MMA. People throwing that lead roundhouse kick, you don't see it a lot. You know what I mean? He did that. He did everything. He kicked to the cat. He did everything. Everything was on point. His boxing was flawless. His counter striking was beautiful. You know what I mean? They went the entire 25 minutes, and without that point taken off, I believe Figueiredo would have won this particular match. Yeah, because Brandon took a while to begin his assault. It took a while because he was trying to draw Davidson into deep water, but it turned out that Davidson can swim, and he swam right back to shore and got the fight going again. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for that point, Figueiredo would have won 30-29 on all three judges' scorecards. But, he's got to pay. He's got to pay for an infraction. This is what I was saying earlier, man. You make these folks pay, they'll kick straighter next time. You know what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
was a kick a mistake? Yeah, it could have been a mistake, but still, you did it. You did it. You know what I mean? If you and I go out in public and we hit someone with our car, guess who's gonna pay? Even if we can prove that it wasn't a purpose, we still have to
Right.
pay. We still have to pay. You know what I mean? We don't
Mm-hmm.
get a second chance. We pay on the money. So same thing should happen with the fighters. You know what I mean? Even if it's a mistake, you gotta pay. I mean, the dude got kicked in his nuts. His pain ain't gonna go away because you got a warning. The pain remains, right? The pain remains. So as long as the pain's remaining, whoever the guilty party is must pay. They must pay. This is the only way you can reduce those infractions. So when they start paying more, they'll stop doing it. They'll do it less, at least.
Yeah. So I mean, this is it. But this was a title match of the ages. A lot of people were saying fight of the year. Definitely the greatest flyweight.
Yes.
Yeah, the greatest men's flyweight fight in UFC history. That for sure.
I'll give you that. Fight of the year, I don't think so. Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk was better than this. Not only better than this, it was way more technical, striking at the highest level. This was a slugfest, which is good. We like to watch slugfest. It's good for pay-per-view. You know what I mean? But when it comes to being technical, Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk were way more technical. And I'm sure there's another match that I'm forgetting right now that was way more technical than this. This is up there. Don't get me wrong. This fight was up there.
Yeah, and we had Gaethje and Ferguson. That was fucking bananas too.
That fight was a one-sided beating. You know what I mean? That fight was a one-sided beating. I wouldn't qualify it as fight of the year candidate. Fight of the year candidate to me, this fight right here was better than that. This Figueiredo and Moreno was better than that. Gaethje versus Ferguson. It was way better because it was evenly matched and it was a war to the very end. You know what I mean? Right now, I can't remember the other ones that are qualifiers for fight of the year. But there was a couple. I just can't remember them right now. But The first thing that pops in my head right now is Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhong Weili.
And Zhang
Those,
Weili, yep.
yeah, those two are legit number
Fight
one
of the
or number two for fight of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No arguments there. I mean, Zhang Weili literally made Joanna look like a Klingon from fucking Star Trek. That was, woo, buddy. That was, we'll never forget. I like literally never forget that shit.
Yeah. It was unfortunate that Joanna's body swells easy. You know what I mean? It was just one punch that did that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But she didn't slow down. She didn't slow down one bit. She kept that pressure.
She did not.
She kept that pressure. She kept the combinations coming. It's just that Zhong Weili is on a whole nother level, man. She's powerful.
Another level.
She's powerful. Hey, man, I watch her on Instagram every single day, man. She is non-stop with the training. She trains, 6 times a week? Several times a day? Yeah, 6 times a week, 7 times a day. She's always posting some kind of dynamic training, you know? She's on point, man. She's on point. She deserves to be champ because she trains like a champ. That's why she is champ. So whoever's going to come in there, and I guess it's Rose Namajunas next. Rose better be on her P's and Q's, man. She better have that. She better have those 45-degree angles on point because she's gonna get ran through if she don't watch out.
No, absolutely true. Absolutely true. But I mean, this was the final UFC pay-per-view of 2020, which has been a crazy year, not just for the UFC, but for everyone, right? So in terms of your assessment of what this UFC card was, what is your assessment over the card overall?
Dude, I give this card a 9, bro, out of 10. It was phenomenal. Wow. The only reason why it's not perfect is there's a lot of new names. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of new names, which is good. There's a lot of new names, but wow, man, it's just, man. You know?
And I will also say 9, but the only thing that mars it was again the fact that the obvious Mackenzie Dern, the eye poke, right, and the nut shot from Fedorito to Moreno, right. If we didn't get those, this would have been a perfect card for me. I would have give it a 12 out of 10, like. No problem. I was so this night made me a fan of MMA. Like I was proud to be a fan after the night of fight. So I mean, it's crazy. My goodness. But holy crap! Speaking of crazy fights, we will have another episode of Voodoo in the Woods because we're going into UFC Vegas. I fucking don't know at this point. I want to say 18, but it couldn't be whatever. And I'm dyslexic when it comes to numbers. But Wonder Boy Thompson is fighting. I think he's going to put a lot of people to sleep, not because of him kicking the crap out of people, but because he just makes you fall asleep to watch. But the rest of the card, in the words of WWE Hall of Famer, the recently deceased Pat Patterson, this card is bananas. Banana. It's banana. So we will be back on Thursday to break down that Saturday card. I mean, like fine-tooth comb and everything. We're going to detangle the whole thing for you. But if you haven't already done so, we warmly encourage you, to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods Facebook and YouTube pages. It's not hard to find. Literally, you can do it, or you can DM one of us. But where can they find you, good sir, on social media?
Everywhere Voodoo Maximus is on sale. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, Twitter, Periscope. You know it.
Dang. And I'm According to Woods, and I do stuff too. And you can go ahead and follow me literally everywhere at According to Woods. But we will see you Thursday right here on Voodoo in the where's the damn where's it? Voodoo in the Woods.